What's up, guys? Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, information is in the description to support me. If you have any feedback, please let me know. I'm open to it. We're gonna break down Wednesday, July 2nd. This will also repeat on Thursday, July 17th. This is gonna be an ESP day. In the 2G, it is a switch template. On the 3G, it's a regular 3G workout. All right, let's jump into it. So on the 2G treads, you'll hit the treads 3 times, each block with a different focus. Endurance, challenge strength with inclines, finish with power. On the rower, you'll start each floor block with a row. Each block gets shorter and more powerful. And then on the floor, 3 floor blocks with the same movement patterns. First, body weight and straps. Then we add load. And then we turn into power with the burpee version. That brings it all together. So dumbbells, straps, no benches. The flow of the class, tread floor, tread floor, tread floor. There's a 2-minute transition to switch the room every single time. So put that sense of urgency in the lobby intro. Put wipes out prior, so that way they have wipes, they're ready to go. As soon as you're done shutting it down, they can start wiping it down, head to that next station, so on and so forth. Now, the talking this workout down from the people who start on the treadmill side, I'll talk about the treadmills first, briefly touch on the weight floor, and then eventually actually talk about the weight floor. So on the treadmills, block 1 is 8 minutes. We're gonna start with a 1-minute push, 1-minute base. And the goal is to stay as close to that 1-minute push as the duration increases and lower base as needed to trend towards that green between each effort, okay? So what we're gonna look for is a 1-minute push, 1-minute base, 90 push, 1-minute base, 2-minute push, 1-minute base, 30 all out, okay? Because the recovery stays the same, if they can maintain that push and then scale back on that base, that's a win. If they pull back slightly on the push, maintain their base, that's a win as well. If they maintain both, cool. Main thing is we want to see that small ebb and flow in their heart rate response, okay? Bikes and striders, keep it simple. They're gonna go 3 gears over base for their push and then go back to their normal base gears during their base. Power walkers aim to maintain their incline every single time, or at least stay within 0.5% of their first one and then the next round. Now, they'll go to the weight floor after that, talk about that later. They come back to the treads. This block, 6.5 minutes. Same idea of a push base, push base, push base, 3 rounds. Everything's 1 minute. The goal is we're gonna establish a new 1-minute push that we're gonna maintain and then lower base as needed because we're gonna add incline on the second and third attempt. So 1-minute push, power walkers 6% or greater, joggers, runners, all that normal stuff, bikes and striders, 3 gears over base. Round 2, go up by 1%. So power walkers 7% or greater, joggers and runners, they're at 2%. And then for the bikes and striders, we want them to add 1 or 2 gears every time the treadmills add 1% to their incline, or add 1% to their incline, okay? The final push at 4% should feel borderline uncomfortable to very uncomfortable for the bikes and striders. So they'll see flat road, 2% push in the base, and then a 4% push. Power walkers are 9% or greater base. And then the final push is almost like that all out, because now it's 6%, power walkers are 10%, bikes and striders probably close to that 6 gears or more, but it's only 30 seconds. So because it's short enough on that duration, it might be more of like a push all out than a true all out, uncomfortable to very uncomfortable. At the very least, they're definitely tapping into that orange by the end of it. After that 6.5 minute block, they'll go to the weight floor and then come back for the final block on the treads. Nothing crazy here. 5-minute block, we're gonna see 4 attempts of a 30-second all out, increase in walk recoveries. Maintain or increase the all out every round. First walk recovery is only 30 seconds. So between the 30 all out, 30 walk, 30 all out, maintaining would be highly suggested. But after that, they get a 1-minute walk and then a 90-second walk. So on the 3rd and the 4th all out, it should be more than capable to maintain, but ideally a majority of your members who are getting after it should be able to increase their all out intensity there. Then they'll go back to the weight floor and then they're done. Talk about the other side. So this is the group that started on the weight floor. They're gonna go floor, tread, floor, tread, floor, tread. Every floor block starts with a row. Block 1 is a 300-meter push row, focusing on endurance. So for this push row, stroke rate, probably a little bit on the higher end, 24 to 28. Leg drive, 7-ish out of 10. When they're done, wipe it down, and then we're gonna see the 3 primary movers that we're gonna see today. Hinge, press, pull. So we're gonna see single leg, strap, deadlift, 10 on each side, followed by strap chest press for 10, and then the rotational low row for 10. So for that one, thumbs start towards each other with the arms extended. As they pull up, they're gonna rotate the palms into a neutral position and then back down. As an added challenge, they could go to a full reverse grip, really get that full rotation, and then they lower back down if people want that challenge. For the chest press, if they want to do that rotational work as well, they can. In fact, I kind of prefer it because it helps make sure lock the shoulders down, get the shoulder blades to tuck behind them, and that way they don't flare out, because it's really hard to do this when the hands are like that, because they're going to naturally drop it back down. Okay, they'll do all 3, they rest, and they do all 3 again. Keep in mind, all 3 of these movements can be used as options in the next block. And with that single leg deadlift, if people really struggle with their balance, they could do it as a kickstand and do a split stance deadlift using onto those straps. The main thing is they want to press the palms down as they hinge their butt back and keep tension on the strap the entire time, and also work on like lat engagement. So rather than letting the arms just swing forward, they're controlling the arms out, limiting how close they get to the wall with the straps. Now, they'll finish that, go to the treads, they come back to the weight floor. On the next weight floor, the row is a strength-based row at 250 meters, 20 to 24 strokes per minute. We want to try to maintain a push intensity on that row. So hopefully with a lower stroke rate, they maintain the leg drive, so their wattage should be the same as their earlier 300-meter push row. So if they use the stored programs and when they come back, have them pay attention to what their average watts was last time and try to keep their watts during the second row at that average or higher, okay? When they finish, we're gonna add dumbbells to the movement. So we're gonna see single arm or single leg alternating deadlift. So 2 dumbbells, they'll do alternating sides, 4 total per side, so 8 total reps, excuse me. They could do an alternating split stance deadlift. So they'll take 1 foot back, hinge, feet neutral, take the other foot back, neutral. And then they'll have alternating floor chest press. So on the ground, arms are extended, 1 arm down, back up, other side down, back up. That one's gonna be 8 total as well. So those first 2, moderate to heavy weight. And then the last one, it's a half kneeling single arm low row. So 1 knee's on the ground, they hinge forward, they're gonna get that big stretch at the bottom and then pull and drive back up. This one's 8 per side, okay? They'll do all 3, they rest, and they do it all again. And then the final block. The rower is 200 meters, all out row, under a minute, maximum effort. 10 out of 10 on the leg drive, highest watts of the day, definitely gassed out. When they're done, they're gonna take those movements, kind of manipulate them in a way to make a combo of a full burpee with high plank alternating low row. So for this one, they got 2 dumbbells. They're gonna set the weight down inside their feet. They'll hop back, push up, row, row, hop up, stand up. That's 1. No jump, thank God, but all the way down, push up, row, row, all the way back up. They got 4 reps. Okay, so with this movement, obviously a lot of ways to kind of throw in options. Rather than give them like 20 options during the setup, keep it very simple and just remind them that they could use their knees for the push-up and the low row. And then after that, have those individual conversations with the members where, hey, instead of hop, maybe you step back. You could also bring out a bench for them to set the weight on, and they could put their hands on the bench for the push-up and then do a 1-arm row. Then you could customize it to that individual, okay? But with you only having 2 minutes to transition and set up, keep the setup very simple for this. And then their finisher is a body weight burpee. So no push-up, but jump, and no dumbbells. Thank God. Fun. That's a 2G. Looking at the 3G, regular 3G style. So they'll do all 3 blocks on the treads. There's 1 long block on the weight floor, 1 long block on the rower as well. So the treadmills, we're gonna see 5.5 minutes for block 1, a 1-minute walk recovery, 4 minutes for block 2, 1-minute walk recovery, and then 3 minutes for the third block. Same setup as the 2G, so endurance into strength into power. They'll start with a 30-second push, 1 minute base, and they want to try to maintain or stay close to that 30-second push as it increases to 1 minute, then 90 seconds. The difference here in the 3G is after that 90-second push, it leads right into a 30-second all out. So they only have 2 minutes of actual active recovery in this block. So push base, push all out. We'll probably see a lot more people pull back on those base efforts because of that. So definitely let them know. Block 2, similar to the strength block in the 2G, 30-second push, 1 minute base. The next push is at 4%, and then they go into a base. Excuse me. So flat road, and then base, 2% push, base, and then 30-second push at 4%, right into 30-second push at 6%. So that final minute, it's gonna suck. Maintain their speeds as they add 2% more to the incline. Power walkers, they're gonna see 30-second push at 7%, and then for that 2% push, they'll be at 8%, and then for the 4%, they're gonna be at 9%, and then we go to 6% for the joggers and runners, power walkers, 10% or greater. Spicy. And then on the third block, power, 3 rounds, 30 all out, 30 walk, 30 all out, 1 minute walk, and then a 30 all out. Now, when we look at the rower, 14.5 minutes here, 3 parts. Get through part 1, they have an 800-meter base row. The daily beat mentioned something about keeping it as an uncomfortable push. That's a copy paste from the 2G, so ignore that. With an 800-meter base row, hopefully they start in like that mid-range green, but because of the duration of and the distance of this row, by about 600 meters in the final 200, definitely high green, maybe even a little bit of orange, if they could stay consistent. Then after that, they're gonna see the alternated knee raise with torso rotation. So they'll pick up one leg, rotate towards that side, that's 1, set the foot down, pick up, rotate the other side, 2, 10 reps. After that, they move to part 2. Part 2 is a 400-meter push row, 20 to 24 strokes per minute. Same movement. They'll rest, and then part 3, 200-meter all-out row. They'll rest, and then the same movement. And they're gonna repeat all that until the finisher, which is a 30-second all-out. So when you look at it in terms of like time domains and everything, you know, part 1 probably take about 4 minutes between the row and the movement. The strength part 2 probably take about 2 minutes, and the last one probably take about 90 seconds. So they should, you know, once they finish the power, they're going back to that endurance, work their way back through. Okay. Looking at the weight floor, we're going to take all those movements from the 2G, make them into their own individual sections, and they're going to complete 2 rounds of each section. So deadlift, single leg deadlift, chest press, rotational low row for the endurance with the strap, 2 rounds, and then the deadlift with the dumbbell, the floor chest press, the low row with the dumbbell for 2 rounds, and then the burpee to the high plank alternating low row for 4 reps for 2 rounds. And then after that, they just repeat their favorite part until time for the finisher, which is the same finisher as the burpee. Fun, I know, excited. Other than that, simple. There you go. ESP on Wednesday, July 2nd, repeats Thursday, July 17th. Coach it down.